Merhaba arkadaşlar, hepiniz IEFT Talks seminarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün Birleşik Krallık'ın Mezun İstihdam Oranı en yüksek okullarından Northrumbia Üniversitede eğitimi Lina'dan dinliyor olacağız. Lütfen sorularınızı questions kısmından sormayı unutmayın. Yes, Lina, the stage is yours now.
Hi everyone, how are you? My name is Lina and I'm representing Northrumbia University. Hi to everyone that are attending. Thanks for spending this next hour with me or so. I'm gonna share my presentation now. So you should be able to see this on the screen. Hi everyone that's saying hi in the chat. So today we're going to talk all about employability and how to make the most of your university year so that you can become employable afterwards. So because I think that it's fair to say that we all go to universities to improve our chances of getting a well-paid job that we love and to just give ourselves the best opportunity in the future. So just before we begin, I'm going to quickly introduce myself. So maybe you've seen me before in some of these other webinars, but if you haven't, my name is Luna Sharnaite. I'm an international recruitment coordinator at Northrumbia University. I work in Europe and Central Asia mainly, and I am from Lithuania myself. So like 8 years ago, I was in a similar position that like you are. So I was thinking to move to England and do my undergraduate degree there. And I did, and it was one of the best decisions that I've ever taken in my life. So I'm just really happy to be in this role and share my experience with you so that hopefully you can make a better informed decision and do your best, like take the most of this experience as well. So I work at Northumbria University now. So today we're going to talk about employability in general. So how to become employable, but I'm going to use examples from my life and also from Northumbria University. And so you can see what we can offer, but also what's offered in just in England overall in at universities. So I hope this is going to be useful. So I'm going to do the presentation for about 40 minutes or so, and then we're going to do Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat or using the questions section on your right. Okay, so let's make a start. So today we're going to talk about, as I said, all about employability. So first we're going to, I'm just going to quickly explain what is employability, then also how studying in the UK in particular can help you improve your employability, because I know that you probably are thinking about other countries as well, other English-speaking or non-English-speaking countries. So we're going to talk about why England might be a good choice compared to those other countries. And then we're going to talk about how you can help yourself become more employable during your studies. So placement, study abroad years, career support services, accreditations, and endorsements. So we're going to cover all of those. Hello to everyone, anyone that just joined. So we're just talking about employability and how Northumbria University can help with that. And I'm just covering what we'll cover today now. Yeah. So then we'll cover about we'll talk about working in the UK after studies, because that's a question I always get asked. Can I stay in the UK and work afterwards? So I'll answer that. And lastly, I'm just going to summarize and say how studying at Northumbria University in particular can help you become more employable. Okay, so we'll start with what is employability. I'm sure most of you know, but I think it's just good to see that in writing, that employability is a set of achievements. So it can be skills, understanding, personal attributes that makes graduates more likely to gain employment after their graduation, right? So, so it's skills, understandings, personal attributes. But I think what's important to consider is that employability can mean different things in different fields. So what you need to consider before choosing a university and before you start this studying journey is what kind of skills do you need to become more employable? What universities can give you those skills? Do you want to become chartered? If yes, then maybe it's important to consider universities that offer exemptions in exams that help you become chartered. Can you practice with the degree that you gain in your field afterwards in your country? And if you're thinking about more technical professions like computer science or engineering, so what kind of softwares and programs you need to use. So just what employability means in your chosen field. For example, I studied marketing, and my university where I studied in the UK offered exemptions for Chartered Institute of Marketing, CIM. So that was really beneficial for me because I could add it on my CV, and then if I wanted to become chartered, it would be easier for me. And gaining that chartership can help me get a better paid job afterwards. Also, for me, it was important to gain these particular skills, but if you're studying chemistry, it could be something completely different. So it's just important to think about that beforehand, I think. But of course, there are things that are universal that can make you more employable, and those are usually divided into soft skills and hard skills. So just whichever field you choose, it's going to be very useful for you to have teamwork, communication, time management. So these are top 3 of soft skills. So those are the so-called people skills. But also analytical skills, IT, and basic computer knowledge can be very helpful as well. And these are hard skills. So those are those skills that you can obtain through a specific training. So again, this is just so you can understand what kind of things make you more employable. And these 2 tables here on the right of the screen are taken from the 2020 study, where employers could say what kind of skills they're looking in graduates, in their employees the most. So these are the skills that are most needed because maybe current workforce doesn't really have them. So again, if you have those skills, it can make you more employable in the future. Okay, so now that we understand what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to talk about why hi to everyone that just joined. We're going to just talk now about why the UK is a good destination if you want to become more employable in the future, right? So it's no secret that UK has some of the best global universities in the UK. So some of the best universities in the world are based in the UK. And actually many other countries base their higher education system on the UK's higher education system. So they're using that as an example because they can see that it's working very well. So the UK degrees are well recognized around the world. So if you study in the UK, it's going to look impressive when you come back home, or because it gives you lots of practical experience and it develops those skills that I spoke about previously. It helps you become employable within the UK as well. So it's just a great option, really. And I can say from my own experience, I was really pleasantly surprised how much practical experience you get while you're studying here. And I could really tell that compared to my home country, I'm from Lithuania, you get way more way better understanding of what you're actually going to be doing after graduation during your degree than you would back in my country in Lithuania. So that's one of the benefits of studying in the UK. And of course, the other one is that everything is in English. So I don't think we need to explain how important it is to know English in today's job market. Wherever you are in the world, employers are going to value the fact that you can speak English up to a high standard. And where else is it, where else would you learn English than in a country where it's the native language, right? So being surrounded in that environment, learning in that environment, speaking to other people in that language really is gonna push you over the edge and really gonna make you feel comfortable talking in English, but also is gonna help you become comfortable working in that language as well. So it's really an immersive experience, and I was a bit worried about my English knowledge before I moved abroad, but now I sometimes notice that I even dream in English. So I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would write down my dreams and I would read them in the morning, and I would notice that I wrote them down in English, even though it's not my native language. So I think it just shows that you do really become so comfortable and so immersed in that language, and that's a definite massive selling point for your CV and for you to have that understanding of another language. So that's another reason why a degree in England is a good choice for your employability. And now the biggest section of my presentation on how to become employable is going to be about what you can do during your studies in the UK or potentially in some other countries as well to become more employable. And as I said, I'm going to use examples from my life and from Northumbria University where I work. So this is all about what you can do during your studies to boost your employability and just give yourself better chances to have a well-paid job that you love in the future. So I included a quote from our careers advisor at Northumbria University, and you can see that she says that it's never too early to start thinking about your future and your career. And she advises that even when you're in your first year at the university, you can start volunteering, you can start getting involved in societies. And societies is a group of people that are interested in the same hobby or same activity. So you have a group of like-minded people that are organizing their own events or activities or volunteering, and that can look really positive on your CV, as well as it's a fun thing to be involved in during the university. She says that you can also, of course, volunteer and just explore different options. There's lots of different things you can get involved at, and just if you start taking those opportunities as soon as you join the university, you're really gonna have more time to build that skill set and just have a more examples to share in your interviews or in your on your CV in general. So yeah, so just take the opportunities you get, because there really are a lot at Northumbria and in general in the UK during your freshers week. So that's the first week before you start your studies. You're gonna have a careers week or just volunteering fair, and you can see what opportunities are available. And if we're taking Northumbria as an example, Northumbria University, as I said, UK universities in general offer a lot of practical hands-on experience, and Northumbria is definitely not an exception. So one way we give you practical experience is by having lots of specialist labs, all the most modern software. For example, if someone wants to study forensic science, at Northumbria we have a crime scene house, which looks exactly like a real house that just had a crime scene happen inside of it. And as a forensic science student, you get to come in and explore it, take the evidence, and then analyze them in our blood lab that's just on campus as well. For those students who study law, we have a law courtroom on campus that looks exactly the same as a real courtroom that's being used in England. So some of your assignments, for example, will be based there, and you get to dress up like a real solicitor, for example, and just get used to that environment, so that after you graduate, there's no surprises. Talking about specialist lab, Northumbria recently opened a brand new building for our computer and information sciences students. So we have a games design lab, we have a cybersecurity lab, and so on. And our sciences students get completely new labs as well for chemistry, biology, engineering, and so on. So when you're choosing a university, have a look at what facilities they offer, because that's going to be a really great opportunity for you to get that practical experience, which is really really beneficial for your future. Because remember, I spoke about hard skills, so skills where you use software or technology, IT, and so on. So having that facility is going to help you acquire those, and those are very important for your employability. So talking further about practical experience, we also invite established companies to help provide project briefs for our students. So for example, our fashion design students worked with a shop called End. It's a branded clothes shop, and they helped them create their marketing campaigns and so on. And this is just one example, but we have many others. So working with real companies in real world can really help you with your employability as well. I spoke about facilities. Yes, Northumbria also offers a graduate enterprise that helps you start your own business if you like to. So some other universities will offer that as well. So if you are thinking about starting your own business, you can have a look and see if the university offers support in that area, because that can help you with your employability as well. And I know I keep saying employability, and employability, but that is important when you're studying, and that is what this session is all about. Further ways to help yourself make the most of your studies and help you get a job after your studies is, as I said, getting involved with volunteering. So there's going to be a lot of options for that, and you will have a volunteering fair at the beginning of your studies usually. Also societies and sports club that I mentioned as well. Some courses will also offer field trips. So for example, at Northumbria, if you study architecture, you will have an opportunity to go on a field trip in Europe. I believe not last year, but the year before, they went to Madrid to have a look at architecture. And at Northumbria, for architecture, we cover accommodation expenses for our students. And so that's a really good thing and valuable thing. So you can have a look at those opportunities as well at some other universities and make sure to check if they're funded or not, because that's going to really help you get that insight. If you're an architecture student and you get to go abroad and look at all these classical buildings and then base your projects around them, that's definitely going to be very exciting, but also beneficial for your projects and for your employability at the end. And lastly, study abroad and placement opportunities. So I'm going to talk about those next. But before I do, I just wanted to make a break from me talking and just show you some pictures. So I spoke about facilities at Northumbria, so you can have a look at those here on the screen. So the first one on the top left is our architecture studios. The second picture is our library. You can see our labs in the third picture. The photo that's of the building that's round and like just made of glass, that's our business school. And the machines that look like microwaves, these are 3D printers. So at Northumbria, we use them for mechanical engineering or architecture students to make their projects. The photo in the middle, again, the round glass building, that's computer and information sciences building. We have a swimming pool on campus, and the bottom two pictures are on the left. You can see the sports science students labs, and the one on the right is our fashion design studios. So you can really see that there's, for example, if you're a fashion design student, you don't have to bring your own sewing machine or anything like that. So again, just having that space and equipment to learn on is going to help you develop those skills that are going to make you more employable in the future. Again, some photos from Northumbria. So the first one, top left, is our library, and the same on the bottom right. Those two photos are of our library. The photo on the top right, that's the nursing students during their lecture. So you can see again, talking about facilities, we have these life-size smart dolls that students can practice on. So if you're studying something health-related, like nursing, of course, it's important that you have that confidence to work with real people, and having that safe environment to practice on these smart dolls is very important for you to gain, for example, as I said, confidence. That's another skill that'll be useful in your career, but also, technical skills, because the smart dolls react in a certain way. They give you a signal on the screen so you can see if you're doing things right. So fantastic facilities. It was really surprising for me to see how just elaborate and innovative everything is here in the UK at universities. And lastly, the picture on the top in the middle, that's our printmaking room. So again, beautiful space for design students. Okay, so I said that another thing that makes you employable during your studies is study abroad. You'd be surprised that this is not just a fun, exciting thing to do. So of course, going abroad during your studies. So for example, going to an exchange program in Copenhagen or to America or South Korea it's fun. You can make lots of friends and just have a really great time living in another country. enjoying good weather or whatever, but also it's very valued by employers as well. So employers really appreciate when students have a multicultural experience, when they've showed the confidence and initiative to go study abroad. Of course, you're gonna experience a different way of learning. You're gonna maybe have a chance to learn a new language. So there's lots of different reasons why studying abroad during that exchange year, during your studies, is very beneficial. And at Northumbria, we offer a study abroad year on almost all of the programs. And this map here on the left shows you where you can do your exchange program. So there's more than 160 different destinations you can choose from. And the number of which ones you can go to will depend on what you're studying. But if you're studying a business, for example, you could go to any one of them, and you can see the destinations that our students chose here on the right. So United States, Australia, Netherlands, those are usually the most popular, and those countries that have great weather like Spain, or France. Yeah, so I think it's a very exciting thing that we can offer to our students. Also similar to placement, so just to clarify, I assume that you all know, but just in case you don't, so placement is a work experience, so it's usually paid, and it happens after your second year of university and before your last. So usually studies in the UK last 3 years, but you can choose to do, as I said, either study abroad or placement, so this work experience, and that happens before your final year of studies, and then your overall length of course is 4 years long. So a placement is a work experience, and you can either do it in the UK or abroad. If you can get a placement abroad, that's wonderful. Majority of people do placements in the UK. I have to say that it's of course a wonderful opportunity, because it's very likely that if you make a good impression during your placement, because it happens in a real company, right? So you work with real people, with real businesses. So if you make a good impression on them, they sometimes offer you to work at their company after graduation, and this happens in probably like 80% of the cases. But I have to say that placement is something you have to secure independently. We do offer a lot of support at Northumbria. There's a whole placements team that help you submit your applications, but it's up to you to do well in an interview and to meet the entry requirements and so on. But the opportunities and support are there, and you can see some places where our students done their placements in Europe or outside Europe. So we're happy to be able to offer this on almost all of our courses. There's only maybe 5 out of 200 courses that do not offer placement, so it's available for most students. Okay, and I'm gonna talk about career support now, because that's another aspect of how you can help yourself become more employable during your studies in the UK. So most universities will have careers and employability team. They might have different names. It might be career support team. It could be, at Northumbria, it's called Graduate Futures. But it's a team that helps you get a job during your studies or after your studies. And majority of these teams can help you years after graduation. At Northumbria, we can help you up until you die. So basically from when you start your studies until way after. And what these teams offer are career guidance, and you can see the list on the screen. At Northumbria, we offer Wednesday workshops. This is the thing that they're doing at the moment, so it's all online. And on every Wednesday, you have a workshop, for example, how to write your CV or how to prepare a portfolio, what kind of skills do you need, and all kinds of useful practical things. You can also book a one-to-one virtual meeting, or they also have resources for jobs and so on. So as I said at the beginning, it's important that you start using all of these services and all of this support straight from the beginning of your studies, because there's so much that you can do. So we wouldn't want you to miss out. And this team is there to support you throughout this journey and help you, guide you, and and just motivate you, I guess. So it's important. So do keep an eye on this if when you start your studies, and if you're still thinking of where to study, have a look if they have this kind of team, and just see how they can support you during your studies. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to talk about in this section of the presentation about how you can help yourself become employable during your degree is accreditations and endorsements. You may have heard of these words before, but you may not know what they are. I didn't know what an accreditation is before I started studying in the UK. But it's an important thing to consider, especially in some degrees and in some degree programs. So accreditation, as you can see on the screen, is a quality assurance process that university degree is undergoes just to make sure that it meets the specific requirements of the industry. So, and having this accreditation can really help you become more employable, especially in some fields. In some fields, it might even be an essential requirement by employers. So they, for example, wouldn't. So if you're want to become a psychologist, for example, it's a long journey, but it's very important that you study a degree that's accredited by British Psychological Association. And for example, at Northumbria, we do offer courses that are accredited by this accreditation. Same with architecture, physiotherapy. If you want to become a physiotherapist in England, you have to study in a course that's accredited by HCPC. If you want to become an architect, for example, it's important, and it's better received if you're studying a course that's accredited by RIBA, so that's Royal Institute of British Architects. There's lots of different accreditations that could be important for your course, so it's important that you do your own research, and then when choosing a university, you see whether that university offers a course that's accredited by that institution. There's also things that are called endorsements that can help you become more employable as well. So these are just small stamps of quality that you can collect while you're studying. So I hope this makes sense. I'm going to move on to the next slide now. Okay, so this is probably what you've been waiting to find out. Is can I work in the UK after my studies? Whenever I do presentations, I always get this question. So I included a slide on this here. So the answer is yes. So if you are an international student, so this would apply for you guys, students from Turkey, you can apply for post-study work visa. So that's abbreviated as PSW. So this visa applies for anyone that graduated in 2020 or later. So this will most likely apply to you as well. So this visa lets you stay in the UK for up to 2 years in order to find work. So during those 2 years after you graduate, if you are a visa holder of PSW visa, you can try to find any work. It can be any kind of work. And as you can see here on the screen, the goal is for you to transition into a general work visa afterwards. So because after those 2 years, if you want to stay in the UK, so for example, if you want to stay in the UK for the 3rd year after your graduation, you will have to apply for general work visa or skilled work visa. And then to stay in the UK, you'll have to find a job that's quite well paid. So it's at least £30,000 per year. So as you can see, for some other jobs, this level can be higher or lower. But what you need to know at the moment is that you can stay in the UK for up to 2 years. And in that time, you can try to find a job that's at least £30,000 per year, which is really possible. It's especially if you worked in the UK for 2 years. So it's possible, and don't worry. So you have the opportunity to stay. And as I said, the careers and employment services in your university will be able to help you to find a job during your studies or after your studies as well. So they can help you get that job that could help you get the general work visa. I hope that answers your questions. But if you have any, just let me know. I can see, I can hear the beeping that I can see that I'm getting questions through, but I'm gonna go through them at the end. Okay, so now that we have a good picture of what is employability, why the UK degree can make you more employable, and what you can do during your studies here to become more employable, we're going to think about why Northumbria could be a good choice. And I did give you some examples already, but I'm just going to give you a few more now. So before I begin talking about Northumbria in particular, I'm going to show you a video. So this, so I hope you can see this, but this will help you get a feeling of what Northumbria University is like and what we can offer you, and just to understand whether this is a good choice for you or not. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, so hope you could see that well. I hope you enjoyed the video. So I'm gonna come back to the presentation now. So you got a bit of an introduction about Northumbria, and we are a big university, so we have over 31,000 students from over, I'm sorry, we added a few more countries this year, so from over 144 countries, and more than 20% of all our students are from abroad, so they're international. So if you are worried that you're going to be the only student that's not English, you don't have to worry about that. You'll meet people from all around the world, and this was one of my favorite parts about studying in the UK, that how international it is. I just loved it. We are a top 30 UK university, and we are top young university in the world rankings from the UK. So we're a young, ambitious, innovative university that's ranked well in the UK and also in the world rankings. We are 7th in the UK for employability and 10th in the UK for facilities. So I spoke about how important facilities are, and I spoke about employability, and you can really tell that we do focus on it quite a lot. We have a lot of societies and sports club you can join, and as I mentioned, a lot of study abroad opportunities on our courses. So since we're talking about employability, just want to show you once again that at Northumbria it is really a focus, and it's one of the most important things to our understanding to give to students. As I said, you do come to university to become employable afterwards, to find a good job that you love and it's well paid. So we do see that as a priority. So we are 7th in the UK for employment of our graduates, and 2nd in the UK for graduate startups. So, and this figure is based on estimated turnover. So it's not that our students start a lot of businesses in general. They start a lot of successful businesses. And so if you want to start your own business, we offer a lot of support here at Northumbria for students like you. And you can see some logos at the bottom left corner of the screen. So these are some companies that our students worked at after university, so you can recognize a few. We had some graduates, for example, from that studied fashion, worked with Calvin Klein straight after graduation, Tommy Hilfiger. We have a graduate that's called Neil Marshall. You can look him up. He studied film and TV production, and he directed some of the episodes of Games of Thrones. So lots of great alumni that whose footsteps you could follow if you studied here. We have 4 academic faculties, and as I said, whichever course you choose, we're going to offer a lot of practical experience, whether it's business and law, engineering, or art. You can see some statistics here on the screen. If you would like to talk a bit more about any of the programs, let me know, and I can do that. But since we're focusing on employability now, I just wanted to show what you could study here. Talking about courses in particular maybe is a little bit different topic, so let me know if you would like me to talk a bit more about those. And another reason why we are a great choice is our location. I know it's not really related to employability, but I think it's important to mention that we are based in Newcastle upon Tyne, it's in the northeast of England. We have our own airport in this city, so it's easy to get to the university, but also to explore the Europe or other continents around as well. We're only 3 hours away from London, so it's a compact, well-connected city. The reason why I mentioned where we are based is because we are the top student city in the UK. We've been voted that last year and the year before. Every 6th person in a city is a student, and we are one of the safest places for students in the UK. But we are #1 for nightlife as well, so there's lots of events and parties happen here, a lot of concerts. You can see in the bottom left corner that we are home to world's biggest half marathon as well. It's called Great North Run, so that happens every year. So lots of things to see and experience here at Northumbria, and lots of ways to get practical experience or to get volunteering experience, just to have a great time while you're here as well. And another thing that I love mentioning is that Newcastle is one of the most affordable UK cities. It means that you will spend a lot less money here than you would in other countries or in other places in the UK. And just to let you know, our accommodation prices start from £70 per week. We offer accommodation, we guarantee accommodation for all first-year students, and the rent is all inclusive, so you don't have to pay anything extra for bills or so on. It's all within walking distance to campus. So I just wanted to talk about the accommodation for a moment because I get questions about that a lot. And the last thing I'm going to mention before we go to your questions, so if you do have any questions, put them in the chat now, because I'm going to go through them after the slide. So the entry requirements. So what you need to have to get onto a course at Northumbria. And this is for Turkish students specifically. So if you scan the QR code on the right, the first one on the right, you will be taken to a page for Turkish applicants, and you will see all the requirements on your screen. So you can see that the first 3 lines show what requirements we ask from you from your high school certificate. And then the last line on the first table is what we ask for you to have if you want to study master's. So that's a postgraduate degree. For English language, we ask you to have IELTS. And for undergraduate degrees, you have to have 6.0 with no lower component than 5.5. And for postgraduate studies, you have to have 6.5 in IELTS and no lower than 5.5 in each component as well. Or if you have any other English tests, we can look at those as well. We accept International Baccalaureate, Cambridge test, TOEFL, Pearson, and so on. And the last thing we're going to ask is portfolios, but that's only relevant if you want to study a creative degree. So if you want to study design, fashion, art, animation, architecture, you will be asked to provide a portfolio. And you can find a guide of what you need to show us by scanning the second QR code here. So, and that's it. So hopefully that was a good overview for you about what is employability, how you can start becoming employable from the very first beginning on the first day of your degree, what you need to think about, what is important for you, and what Northumbria can offer to make you more employable. So I'm gonna go to the questions now. So thank you everyone for listening. So we're gonna start with the question, which programs are the most advantageous if we intend to find a job in the UK after graduation? So it's I often get asked this, but I never really know what to say, because the truth is that you can find a job in anything if you're passionate about it, if you know what you're doing, if you have the right skills and motivation and drive. There's really no reason why you can't be employable as a graphic designer or mechanical engineer and so on. So we put an employability element in all of the courses we offer. For example, film and TV production. I think people assume that it's a difficult degree to have a career in, but we do have a module during the course which teaches you how to become employable as a film director or a film producer. We have a separate module. So for example, in your first year or second year, you will have a class about how to build contacts, how to, I don't know, secure contracts with suppliers, I don't know, things like that. So really, if you are passionate about it and if you're good at what you do, if this is the dream job, and if you work hard and study well, then any program can help you find a good job, really. So I don't know how else to answer this. So I hope this was helpful. Just if you have something in mind, just go for it. What is the fee for computer engineering and registration conditions? Okay, so I think this question is about the tuition fees. So tuition fees are around 16,000. This is the same for most of our programs at undergraduate level. We do offer a global scholarship. So this is a £3,000 fee discount. So your degree is going to be £13,000 in the first year, and then £14,000 in second and third year. So the prices are very similar for all of our undergraduate courses, but if you're interested in postgraduate courses, so master's courses, I would advise you look at the online, because we have different prices for our master's courses. I hope this helps you. Thank you so much for all of these questions, by the way. What is the minimum GPA requirement for master's programs? Is it flexible? So I think this question came in before I showed you the slides. So I'll just put it on the screen here again. So for masters, we're looking for 2.5 out of 4. Thank you. Yeah, so you should be able to see it on the full screen now. So if you look at the entry requirements on the course that you are interested in, it will say that it's asking for 2.2 or 2.1. So this is the entry requirement scale. Sorry, this is the grading scale in the UK. So if you graduate from a university in the UK, you will have either first, 2.1 or 2.2. And first is the best, 2.1 is the middle, 2.2 is the lowest. So so you will just have to find the equivalent in your Turkish qualifications to either 2.1 or 2.2. So if your degree is asking for 2.2, then you need 2.5 in your Turkish diploma, and if it's asking for 2.1, you're gonna have to have 2.8 in your Turkish diploma. So I hope this makes sense. Do you provide placement opportunity for MA TESOL students during the study? Thank you for your question. And so, if you're interested in master's programs and postgraduate programs, you will need at Northumbria, you will need to look for a program that has advanced practice. So, and most postgraduate programs in the UK will not offer placement, but at Northumbria we do have a selection of programs that do offer them. So, and those programs will have with advanced practice in their name. So I would advise you to have a look and see if MA TESOL has an option with advanced practice. I can check that for you after this presentation as well. Is it possible to credit transfer from another university? So yes, that is possible, definitely. So you will just have to email our admissions team. I will put their email address in the email that I will send you all after this session. And if you either email me or them and with your grades and qualifications, we can see what it is equivalent to our entry requirements. If you're studying in a UK university and you finished your first year, for example, and you don't really like that university and you want to study at Northumbria instead, we can sometimes approve that you finished your first year and you can join Northumbria in the second year. So that's another type of credit transfer that you can do. But yeah, we would have to see what kind of modules you've done as well. So the best thing to do is to email me, or yeah, it'll be easier, just email me. I'll put my email here after this in the chat, and I can help you understand if we can accept your credits. Okay, I couldn't find PhD programs in Northumbria. Could you talk a little bit about postgraduate programs for international students too? Do visa things provide to stay in the UK for postgraduate students? Okay, so for PhD programs, I will send you a couple of links about PhD programs, because the entry requirements and application process is slightly different for PhD programs. But we do offer accommodation. Please let me know if I understood your question right. I think you're asking if we provide accommodation for postgraduate students. So we do. So when you apply for our accommodation, you can say that you're a PhD or postgraduate student, and we can place you with other postgraduate students as well, which is really great because you'll have more in common with them, and you have similar. You'll have different, the same kind of schedules as well. If you're asking about visas, it's this. If you study a postgraduate degree, would you be able to stay afterwards with your visa? Then yeah, it's the same process. I think you have the post-study work visa that applies to postgraduate students as well. So I hope that answers your question. I will send you some more information about postgraduate programs. Postgraduate research programs, because the employability aspect and the facilities will apply for both undergraduate and postgraduate. But for PhDs, we have a different application system and entry requirements. So I will send you those in the chat. Yeah. Okay. So do we have to study foundation year? So if you want to, you can. A lot of students choose to study for that foundation year because it's a great opportunity to just have another year at the university. It's a great experience. You get to know the lecturers. You have more chances to learn more. You can, if you study, for example, design foundation year, you will be introduced to all different strands of design. So for example, you'll learn about interior design, fashion design, industry design, and then you can choose. So if you're not sure what you want to study, you can choose a foundation year. It will be helpful. If you have the required qualifications that are here on the screen, one of those in first 3 lines, then you don't have to do a foundation year. If you don't have the required grades, we will offer you a foundation year. But as I said, in some students choose to do foundation year even if they meet our requirements for undergraduate degree, just because it's an opportunity to know a little bit more, to have another year at the university, and to figure out what they want to do after they graduate. Can we extend our work permit after graduation if we find a job? Is it definitely 1 year or flexible? So again, I think this question came in before I covered this, so I'm just going to move back to the slide where I spoke about this. So if you get the post-study work visa, after you graduate, you can stay in the UK for up to 2 years. So it's 2 years. I'm not sure if you can extend it. I'm not the biggest expert on visas, but I know it's the 2 years. And then if you get a job that meets the requirements, you can extend it to a general work visa. Okay, and I think the last question we have is, what are the accommodation opportunities and what are the entry requirements for IB graduates? So for accommodation, I'll just move to this again. So if you want to explore them, if you want to look at the video blogs, blogs or virtual tours of our accommodation, you can go to northumbria.ac.uk/accommodation, and you can have a look there. So we have a lot of different options. We have options where you have your own room and then you share the kitchen and the bathroom with some, I don't know, maybe 4 other students. I personally think that's the best. It's my favorite because you get to know other people and you get to experience that student life. You also have an opportunity to have en suite, so that means that you would have your own bathroom, so you don't share bathroom with anyone, but you have a shared kitchen. We also have opportunities for students to live in a studio, so that means that you have your own bathroom, your own kitchen, your own bedroom, everything's just yours. But we don't usually advise undergraduate students to choose that because you might feel a little bit alone because you're not sharing with anyone else. So we do offer shared accommodation for undergraduate. Studios are more popular amongst postgraduate students. The admission requirements for IB, I will tell you in a moment. So it's 28 IB points, and you have to have 3 higher level subjects at grade 4 or above. So you have to have 28 IB points in total. If you're applying for architecture, it's going to be 30 IB points, so it's a bit higher. And you have to have 3 higher level subjects at grade 4 or above. If you want to study one of the sciences, so biology, chemistry, physics, or physiotherapy, you will need to have some specific subjects. So for example, for biology, you will have to have biology at higher level. For chemistry, you'll have to have chemistry for higher level. But for most of the other programs, we don't have any subject requirements. So it means that you just have to have any 3 subjects at higher level with grade 4 or above. And we also accept English from your IB certificate. So whatever English subject you're taking, if it's higher or lower level, A or B, will have a requirement for that. So you do not have to take any additional English tests if you're taking IB. Okay, so I think these are all the questions. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to know. I'm just checking again, but hopefully that was helpful. I'm just gonna move to the last slide again. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to email me. So I'm gonna put my email in the chat as well. And I'm gonna just post a link about PhD opportunities for those students who were interested in a PhD. So we have a really great link where you can find out all about it. Okay, so just 1 second. I'm just posting the link. So for anyone that's interested in PhD, please have a look at those 2 links that I posted in the chat, because that's what's going to have all the information. And if you have any further questions about PhDs, just please email me, or you can book a chat with me, book a meeting with me using the link on the slide that I'm sharing on the screen. I can see we have one more question. Do you have to pay the full amount for accommodation upfront at the beginning of your study? So if you want to, you can, but you don't have to. You can arrange to have monthly installments, or usually students pay in 3 installments, so they would pay 3 times per year. There is going to be a deposit that you have to pay. It's going to be different depending on which accommodation option you choose, but it's not a lot. I think it's £250. So no, you don't have to pay everything up front. Also, once you pay the deposit for your accommodation, then, and for example, you pay for your deposit of your accommodation, but then you find out that you didn't meet the requirements, for example, then you get your deposit back. So the deposit is there to confirm your place at the university accommodation. Okay, and I think that's it of the questions. You're welcome, everyone, and thank you everyone for being here and spending your afternoon or evening with me. And I really hope this was useful. And as I said, if you have any questions, just email me. Let me know if I said I'm going to post a link in the chat and I didn't. There were a lot of questions. Let me just double check. No, I think I posted everything, I believe. So yeah, if you have any questions afterwards, just email me. Don't be shy. As I said, I was in your position some years ago, so I can imagine what you're going through. But yeah, if there's no other questions, then thank you once again for listening, and hope you have a great evening. I think I'll pass on to Zeynep to the closing remarks.
Yes, thank you very much for your great presentation, Lina. We believe it was a really informative webinar for the attendees. And also, I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Northumbria Üniversitesi ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için Lina'nın paylaşmış olduğu mail adresinden iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Linkleri de incelemeniz faydalı olacaktır. Aynı zamanda sizi 8'deki webinarımıza da davet etmek isteriz. Thank you again, Lina. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Thank you all.
Take care. Bye-bye.